Welcome to a 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma Summer. This game is going to be Sturm Tiger Frost versus Zielaczek 33333, who is a Poland, apparently from Poland. And apparently Sturm Tiger Frost also speaks Polish, and I don't understand anything they're saying to each other. So that's interesting. We're going to see Jaeger Infantry Doctrine against counterattack, guard motor, and shock rifle. It's pretty standard stuff from the Soviet player, whereas Jaeger infantry is a lot less frequently seen. It's one of those extremely munitions-hungry commanders, similar to German infantry, but it's a little different because it's got I don't remember the difference. I think ambush camouflage instead of some form of smoke or something. We're going to see a 4 conscript opening from Zielaczek to 2 MG42 opening. 2 MG42s, 2 grenadiers here in the opening. Pretty aggressive cutoff maneuver there by Zielaczek, trying to take control of this area. Shut down Oster economy early in the game. These 2 squads of conscripts making their way towards the south to get some of this territory here under control. MG42 setting up here in the center road. We'll catch that squad of conscripts, force a retreat right there. So a couple retreats forced by the Oster, but other than that, pretty good cutoff, aggressive cutoff right there to shut down the Oster fuel economy. 26 coming in from the Soviet player, only 13 coming in for the Oster, so pretty strong opening. Grenadiers moving to restore control of that. 4 conscripts now. 4 conscripts into tier 2, no upgrades, so it does not have Molotovs to turn engagements in his favor. Grenadiers at this range, I think, will eventually win. They also have a health advantage. Inflicted 1 loss already. Pretty sure that's Grenadiers will take that, but they're not able to stand in the capture circle while engaging, unfortunately. So while they will be engaging cost effectively, they really need to restore income. MG42 is going to try and accomplish that over here on the munitions point. Grenadiers taking control of the strategic point as well. Another conscript just got dropped. They're going to have to retreat eventually, but they are doing a very good job of stalling the Oster from getting that income coming in again. MG42 set up here in the center, setting up. Has to rotate a little bit. Conscripts have made their way behind it, trying to take it down without Molotovs, though. By not upgrading Molotovs this late, he doesn't have that nice tool at his disposal to speed engagements up, but as you can see, it doesn't matter. MG42 will be forced to retreat, and he's put ambush camouflage on that, actually, which apparently has the kind of fun side effect of protecting it on the retreat if it manages to jump into some cover in its retreat path. Grenadiers with MG42 support force a retreat from that force of conscripts. Maxim has been fielded there by the Soviet player, making his way to the front lines. And this squad of combat engineers has been upgraded with the flamethrower, retaking control of the cutoff. Finally, Oster economy has been restored. Gonna see an aggressive maneuver to take building control there by the Soviet player. Will be forced to retreat. Ambush camouflage is firing on the units in this house, and they will be forced to retreat. This MG42 setup is going to force another retreat from these conscripts, so pretty good MG42 usage. The double MG42 opening is a little bit risky because you somewhat risk the machine gun getting stolen. Ambush camouflage seems to be pretty good for protecting your investment, though. And Grenadiers are moving up to take control of the center VP there. Mines going down here from the Soviet player. More mines there on the cutoff. So at some point, Frost will need to get himself a minesweeper. Building tier 2 here in his base. Grenadiers moving to work on the center. And he's got a decent amount of munitions to spare right now. He might consider minesweeper a second Pio squad if he wants the flamethrower, which helps a lot on this map. Panzer Grenadier is also good on this map. And he might consider Teller mines at some point. His opponent's not going to be going for tanks anytime soon. He's chosen guard motor coordination, so may just go straight for call-ins. It looks like a straight to call-in strategy. Trying to deny his opponent's fuel early in the game, and that tier 2 4 conscripts into tier 2 certainly looks like pretty standard guard motor coordination strategy. Hasn't fielded any guards. They certainly are quite good now, so we might consider a squad of those. And there's the Minesweeper from Frost. So nice play getting that Minesweeper. He's going to start cleaning those up. I don't know if he's hit a single Soviet mine, but he had the presence of mind to get one anyway, and he's going to start getting a return on that investment immediately. If you sweep up one mine with a Minesweeper, it's already paid for itself, so something to keep in mind. They'll automatically leave the capture circle to sweep up the mine. He's paying attention, though. He'll make sure to get that decapped first. There he goes, sweeping up the mine now. Maxim moving to try and protect that mine, but it does get swept before the Maxim can protect it. Those Pyos look like they might be able to round the corner before getting pinned. There they go. And the munitions point will fall into Frost's control. He has excellent map control right now. In very strong position. There's a heavy mortar on the field, which is going to try and break the containment. Firing at Panzer Grenadiers there in the center. It's not going to hit anything. Probably have more luck if it fires at a team weapon, although they're actually camouflaged, so he doesn't actually see that team weapon right there. I wonder if the Fog of War reflects that. I think so. Well, maybe not. I guess that reveals them. Just doing damage to them reveals them? Really? Interesting. Well, he saw them somehow. Ooh. Pretty good hit, so he's going to have to reposition that to safety. Reposition it to safely. S-mines going down here in by the munitions point. More Soviet mines being planted in this general area as well. Conscripts are going to engage. Grenadiers there in the south. I can't tell who's going to win this engagement. Red cover is really painful. Conscripts are at optimal range, though. It looks like the Grenadiers are going to win just because of the red cover. Maybe, unless he repositions. Why would he reposition away? I think he was going to win that for sure. He's probably still going to win it, honestly. Okay, he didn't have to reposition in that instance, though. He was fine. Maxim engaging here in the center. With conscript support, Grenadiers trying to push these units out of the church. The Panzer Grenadier squad on the flank there is not successful. They take a lot of damage at close range. Took on a little bit more than they could handle right there. Conscripts in the church are about to be forced out, but the heavy mortar is forcing a retreat from that MG42 squad. Pio squad also going to retreat. I definitely think Frost could benefit from a second Pio squad with a flamethrower at this point. He's got the munitions to support that. Ooh. Little friendly fire from the mortar right there. It's only got one kill, though. It's doing great damage, just no kills, though, so I guess that's good. Conscript squad is trying to get into range on that MG42, which is protecting the fuel. There goes the Molotov at that range in red cover. They take a lot of damage, though. 2 crits from the Molotov. He's going to be forced to retreat. 3 crits. Jeez, that was brutal. I almost think he might have won that engagement if he had stuck around, but Grenadiers are available here to get some territory back under control and support. The south has also been completely abandoned. No defenses in that area. Soviet player moving to capitalize on that now. Maxim set up to defend here in the center. Is in yellow cover and clumped. Or no, not that clumped. He's a little spread out. He'll probably survive a rifle grenade or two. Heavy mortar also available to screen against Axis pushes through this area. Ooh, Panzer Grenadiers are going to catch that flamethrower. Wounded. Might win this. No crits. 1 crit. I'm sorry, that guy was already wounded, though. Nothing too serious. Panzer Grenadiers move to disengage away from that squad of conscripts at range, not wanting to take too much manpower bleed. We have G43s equipped on this Grenadier squad, and Zielaczek has not teched because his map control has been so bad he can't afford that. He's just going to go straight for call-ins, but it's taking quite a while to get to the 10 command points. Since he's trying to think carefully about exactly how to engage. The heavy mortar is doing a good job of protecting the center victory point, though, keeping the clock from ticking. And these 2 squads working on the south, going to get the strategic and victory points under control. The munitions point he's hesitant to take because of the S-mine field. He needs to get a minesweeper over there. That would require a second combat engineer squad. He's opted to get a flamethrower rather than a minesweeper, so he's also just dropped 400 manpower on a second heavy mortar. That is almost an overinvestment. If he doesn't start getting lots of kills on these things, he'll be 800 manpower behind his opponent for... Ooh. I don't think he even saw the S-mine field. Wow, that S-mine field value! pops a flamethrower, almost wipes 2 squads. Jeez. Nice S-mine field placement there. That he got a lot out of that munitions investment. Molotov crits 1 grenadier. Conscripts will be forced to retreat. Nice minesweeper play again, making sure to protect his units down here with that. He should be able to sweep that up easily enough. Conscripts are working the north, going to get that victory point under control. And the MG42 here is going to fire on these conscripts. And there goes that MG42.
Your predecessor died a hero. We have it.
Conscripts take control of that victory point. LMG Grenadiers moving across the north. MG42 continues to protect in this area.
Yes, comrade. Squad replenished. Under fire. Taking losses.
That mine's gonna hurt. Oh man, so close. I thought he was gonna step on that for sure. Oh, the heavy mortar just detonated it. Either way, this is a terrible engagement. Not gonna happen. I think he's gonna lose that full squad. Maybe. Oh, around the corner. Barely. Wow. Oh, geez. The Maxim might gun down both of these on retreat, though. It's gonna be close. No. Dead. Dead. Oh, man. Terrible mistake by Frost right there. Definitely should not have walked into that death trap. There was a mine set up for him. There was a Maxim pointed at his retreat path. The PTRS guards with DPs, just overwhelming numbers. Not to mention the risk of the heavy mortars pounding him on the advance. Loses 2 full squads of grenadiers right there. Just bit off way more than he could chew. Essentially, he was going up against the entire Soviet army with only 2 grenadier squads. Ooh. And it did not work. As soon as he rounded that corner, he should have seen that it was an engagement that he would never be able to win just because of superior numbers, and repositioned back to safety here, and then retreated safely if necessary, or simply continued to hold the line. Wait for his opponent to come to him. Wait for a better opportunity to try and take out those heavy mortars, because he's going to need to take those out at some point. They're clearly a serious problem, but it's difficult to get into position to destroy them with just infantry, just a couple of assaulting infantry squads, unless you can find a window of opportunity where they're vulnerable, like right now, for example, while all of the Soviet infantry is tied up harassing territory. This would be a much better time for infantry to try to sneak behind enemy lines, and he would lose territory, of course, in the meantime, but if he could take out those heavy mortars at this time, that would be extremely valuable. The only route I can see that he could safely take is behind this church. Everything else is protected currently by mines or Maxim machine gun, so something to consider. These 2 squads are forced to retreat from the engagement over here on the left side.
Good work, comrades. This now belongs to us.
Pios are going to retreat right there. Panzer Grenadiers make it into green cover and are unsuppressed. They may actually win this engagement. I think they're going to win this, unless the heavy mortars force them to retreat first. I don't know. It's going to be kind of close. The gunner himself doesn't actually have cover here. That's why the Panzer Grenadiers are doing so well from their position in cover. They're going to leave their... Oh, no. Oh, the irony. He left his position in cover, and because of that, he died. He would have been fine if he just stayed there. That random mortar hit. That's heartbreaking. Panzer Grenadier squad wiped by mortar fire. G43 Grenadiers set up here on the victory point, trying to take it away from these conscripts. Heavy mortar pounding away at these grenadiers, and he's getting a pretty good return on that investment because of the Osters struggle to take them out. But we will see that the Oster having really excellent map control for the entire game. I think he should have gone tier 3. Because an Ostwind can push those things off the map so easily with Minesweeper support, and we can see that he has a great handle on his Minesweeper. He's purchased a second squad of Pios, either for a second Minesweeper or flamethrower. I guess I could see either one at this point. Rifle grenade will force a retreat from those guards. Grenadiers working on the north. this area as well. Ostwind would definitely have been nice against somebody that's stalling for call-ins if you have a really good map control advantage. Panzer IV also, either way, something to force those heavy mortars off the field. Zielaczek has 2 command points to go before his T-34-85s arrive, so that Ostwind would have had a nice window of opportunity where it could relieve a lot of pressure from those things. Grenadiers working on the victory point here. Pio's working on the munitions. Frost continues to have excellent munitions or map control, mostly because of the decision to go with double heavy mortar. Really hurts Soviet manpower a lot, and he's floating 800, so 1600 manpower pretty much spoken for. Frost has not purchased a tier 4 unit yet. He has the resources for any of them. Not sure what he's gonna do. If he goes Panther, he'll have a nice tool with which to battle his opponent's T-34-85s. He's gonna need AT guns too, though, at some point. And there it is, Panther in production. If he had gone tier 3 into an Ostwind, he could have battled the heavy mortars. Instead, he's just pretty much just preemptively kind of trying to counter the T-34s. And he does have excellent map control. Oh, what is this? I don't know. I think this attack will probably work. There's not that much here to defend. That MG42 does have a flamethrower on its flank, though. Trying to wipe that. It's not going to happen, though. He doesn't have anything that can very likely win that engagement. And he's clustering so tight. That heavy mortar is going to land any second. The other one. Where is the other one? Oh, did they both retreat? I guess they both retreated. Never mind. He will be fine. G43 is setting up here. The Maxim is turned backwards. If he had something else to advance along this route, that would help, but he doesn't. Rifle grenade into the building. Almost wipes the squad. They will be able to get out in time. Building came a hair from being destroyed. MG turning. Molotov getting tossed. He needs to retreat. The engagement's lost. There's way too much stuff here. Two squads of conscripts plus grenadiers in the south. I think he's gonna lose that MG. Heavy mortars have started firing again as well, and he needs to get out of here. The Panther is on the field. Panther moving up aggressively, but without minesweeper support, does need to be careful. Going for a crush maneuver. Almost kind of manages it, but he's now exposing his rear armor to 2 T-34s. Oh no! And he doesn't have any anti-tank guns on the field to protect him. I think we might see this Panther go down. Panther trying to reverse to safety. I don't know if it's going to be able to get away. T-34 is trying to chase. There are grenadiers available over here to protect. Looks like it's probably going to be okay. Grenadiers screening against those T-34s. Advanced, they're not going to get too aggressive, I don't think, although they could. There are no Tellermines and no AT guns, just Panzerfausts. Panther has barely even inflicted a scratch on these things, and none of its shots will connect. Squad of Grenadiers wiped. Not good. Field gun in production for the Soviet player to manage the threat of this Panther. It's going to try to get aggressive here and work on these T-34s. I feel like that may have been a mistake, though. Panther gets stuck. Oh, what's it doing? It can't squeeze past. There it goes. T-34 unhooks itself. Honestly, I don't even know if he should have. He probably could have just kept on engaging right there. I'm surprised he pulled back. He's playing conservatively because he probably is assuming that his opponent has some proper anti-tank defenses, but he doesn't. Anti-tank gun only just now rolling onto the field. Frost still has very good victory point control, but he's losing it now that he's lost a lot of his infantry forces to the heavy mortars, and just he gave that MG42 to his opponent. That's going to hurt a lot. Probably should have played a little bit more defensively and looked for better opportunities against heavy mortars like this. This is a really nice opportunity. No reaction from Zielaczek. Looks like that's going to get wiped. Late retreat, but I guess it'll be okay since it only needs one man to get away. No lucky shots on the red cover road, and it will escape. Grenadiers move to engage this Maxim. They will get suppressed and forced to retreat soon. Very little infantry left on the field for Frost. 2 squads of Grenadiers, 2 squads of Pios, and 1 MG42. His Panzer Grenadiers have all been wiped. And he spent a lot of manpower on tech, whereas that manpower has been spent on doctrinal units. While Zielaczek is not burdened by tech costs the way the Oster player is with his commander selection. And he can crank out heavy mortars and field guns and T-34s. Whereas Frost has spent 600 manpower on battle phases, another 160-ish, I think, on the tech structure itself. Yeah, 160 on that tech structure, so very expensive strategy. Fortunately, his Panther is still alive thanks to his opponent's passive play, but he's going to struggle from this point forward to get map control back against an infantry force of this size. Two T-34s on the field as well are a very serious threat. He has one anti-tank gun available to protect. Probably needs to start thinking about throwing teller mines down to punish those T-34s if they decide they do want to get aggressive. I don't see a single teller mine, and his infantry is getting bled hard every time it walks into range of those heavy mortars and holds still, trying to capture that point. Pioneers taking control of the left side. And I'm wondering what Frost's next tier 4 unit is going to be. He does have access to Stuka close air support. That will be a very, very, very powerful weapon against these T-34s. If he can damage one of their engines, if he can catch one of them overextended and follow that up with Stuka close air support, that might be a more worthwhile expenditure than teller mines. Maybe. It's very powerful. And the Soviet player has no AA, so it won't get shot down. Grenadiers working on the center VP. Pio's working on the strategic point right there. Ooh, mines getting hit everywhere. With all Minesweeper squads wiped, he should probably field another one. He's really feeling the pain of not having that Minesweeper right now. Nice rifle grenade though, wow! Wipes that squad of Grenadiers before retreating. He gambled and it paid off big time. Maybe, I don't know, he might actually lose the squad. No, T-34s are going in hard. Stuka close air support called in for this engagement. AT guns available, but it's getting Molotoved. First pass, a little off target. It did a little bit of damage. T-34 now has engine damage, but this Panther is about to go down. There it goes, all shots penetrated. Smoke screen is available here. He needs to trade. Really needs to trade. That plane's gonna make a second pass. The strike zone ends somewhere. Where does the strike zone end? I can't see it. Ooh, that pass just went in on team weapons down here and doesn't look like it inflicted meaningful damage. Anti-tank gun's about to get cleared. This squad's about to get wiped. There it goes. Has been cleared. Both T-34s have damaged engines, but there's nothing in the area for Frost to follow up, and he hasn't purchased a second Panther yet. He needs to get that on the field, but he's bleeding too much manpower. Third pass by Stuka close air support any second, and it targets the T-34. Okay, so that one does go down. So he gets pretty good value out of that. He wasn't able to save his Panther, unfortunately, because it hit that mine. Hit that mine. Really need to, when you only have one tank, it's critical that you don't hit a mine, or there's an extremely good chance you will lose it. Needed better Minesweeper support there in the late game. He had great Minesweeper usage early on, but kind of faltered later on and cost him a Panther, and probably going to cost him the game, since this T-34 is going to get away to safety, and all map control is now falling into Soviet hands. Just way stronger infantry army right now. Just two squads of Grenadiers by comparison. G-43 is trying to trade as effectively as they can, chasing down that stolen pack. Now forced to contend with two squads of conscripts right here. Grenades and counter grenades. Heavy mortar also bombarding the area. I don't think they can win this. It's kind of a close engagement, but yeah, you can't risk losing that squad. Vet 3 G43 squad. It's not worth gambling on it. Not to mention guards in the retreat path. which means he's now cut off from all territory, and he needs to get another tier 4 unit on the field. He has queued it up, and Panther will be arriving shortly. Trading a T-34 for a Panther's not a very good trade for the Oster, but it could be worse, honestly. It's better than losing a Tiger, for example. 175 fuel compared to the T-34's 130, so if you have really good map control, it can be worth it, honestly, but he doesn't. He doesn't really have a lead that can justify that trade. He needs to be very careful, and he also needs to not lose his anti-tank guns. Let this get stolen. It's now positioned way over here. Maybe impossible for him to recover for the rest of this game. And he needs to not make these ridiculously dangerous crush maneuvers. What is he doing? I don't even know. Gets buttoned and takes a bunch of field gun fire. Will force the retreat from that squad of guards, but trying to crush is so dangerous because it very often exposes your rear armor to your opponent. It's better to just engage with the top mountain coaxial machine guns at range. Fortunately, nothing was available to follow up other than one field gun, so Panther should be fine. Pio's taking control of the munitions, but he does need to get back control of either the center VP or cutoff, and he needs to repair this Panther. A couple squads retreat to reinforce here in the base, and a squad of Grenadiers is making its way to the front lines as well. Pios do manage to recover the field guns, so that's a big win for him.
The new Grenadier squad is ready.
But he really needs to purchase a Minesweeper. His munitions is just so hurting right now until he can get map control back. Minesweeper should definitely be his next purchase. If he loses another Panther to a mine, it'll probably be GG. His opponent has 350 fuel in reserves. Can't afford to lose the full squads either. To nothing, really. There was no reason to lose that. He could have retreated, but he didn't.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Soviet players' territory grows, and despite being at a serious victory point deficit, that's turning around. Panzerfaust bounces off that T-34. Grenadiers will be forced to retreat. These Grenadiers also forced to retreat. That squad of Grenadiers takes a bunch of damage. They also are forced to retreat. Mass retreat by the Oster, not making any progress. Didn't even get his cutoff back under control. I don't know why he's making these aggressive maneuvers towards the south when he doesn't even have the north under his control. He really needs to get that back. Oh geez, just got buttoned again. We might see marked vehicle. Fortunately, AT guns available to support. Panther should survive this maneuver, but if he doesn't repair that thing, what is he doing? Why would he be this aggressive? Be careful with that Panther. You cannot afford to lose it. It's got so little health. I feel like he's going to lose this Panther to PTRSs. And it still doesn't have a top mount machine gun, by the way. He needs to spend 30 on a Minesweeper, then another 50 on a top mount machine gun. No munitions to spare at all because he hasn't taken control of the north, which is being lost to one squad of conscripts, by the way. Maxim protecting the center VP. Stolen MG42s protecting the south. There's a field gun available, plus the 2 heavy mortars are still in this area. Continue pounding away. 3 kills, 8 kills. They haven't killed that much, but there have been some nasty wipes. Infantry army is getting bigger though. Grenadiers working on this strategic point.
The squad of pioneers has arrived.
Conscripts working on the fuel here.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
And finally he's moving to retake control of the north area. Ooh. And a second set of T-34s is now on the field. This is going to prove probably impossible for Frost to contend with because not only is he behind initially just because of his build order, he's also completely lost map control. He had a great early map control lead, but he's letting it slip through his fingers. Manpower bleed every time he lets a squad get overextended undefended like that. And he lost a Panther. You just can't afford to lose a Panther, basically. Honestly, a Panther is very strong. It has very strong frontal armor, and if you use it very carefully and defensively and vet it up patiently over the course of the game, you can win against T-34-85 spam. But if you get frustrated, if you hit a mine, if you do something too aggressive, try and use it too aggressively and let it die, there's probably you just have to be so careful and patient with an Oster Tier 4 strategy, basically. It's very hard. It takes immense discipline. I certainly can't pull that off. Whereas T-34-85 is just slamming into the field. Much more approachable. And trying to win in this situation is, if not an exercise in futility, certainly an exercise in immense frustration and pain. He's gonna give it a shot here, but I don't know if it's even possible. We certainly saw something pretty amazing earlier today when Sib took on 4 T-34-85s with 1 Tiger and AT guns and Teller mines. So we know it can be done, but it's very difficult. And a Tiger is certainly a much more versatile tool than Panthers are. The advantage of the Panther is basically its pop cap. It has extremely low pop cap, and eventually you should, in theory, be able to outproduce your opponent with Panthers if you can keep them alive. Because they're very efficient against T-34s in large numbers. The problem is just getting them out in large numbers because of the huge upfront investment you have to make. Over Commando West aren't really burdened by the same huge upfront costs. So they can get Panthers out against T-34s much more efficiently. At least initially. Later in the game, Oster actually has the advantage because Oster can build caches, they don't have the fuel penalty. Over Commando West is able to field the initial Panther much sooner though, and that's usually the one that makes the most difference. Was that a Teller mine? I think a Teller mine might have gotten hit right here. Might have an opportunity for Frost to make something happen against this.
Redouble your efforts. We are down to 200 points. Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Panther moving to engage, trying to push away the squad of guards. Panzer Grenadier support, they will be successful, although those Panzer Grenadiers need to retreat. These 2 T-34s are trying to support, try and keep this destroyed engine T-34 safe, keep the Panther busy engaging these at range. These two are now pulling back to safety. Frost has lost pretty much all of his map control. This thing with its destroyed engine is still pulling back. I'm not sure Frost actually realizes that this happened, because he could probably kill this if he could just get an AT gun or his Panther in range for a decent amount of time. These 2 T-34s are available to protect. It's slowly pulling back away behind the church. Panther's been fully repaired and is going to look for an opportunity over here on the right side. And the T-34 is certainly not going anywhere quickly. But he needs to restore control of his cutoff. He just has not held this point for the entire game. Really needs to get that under control. Grenadiers moving their way towards the south to get this victory point back. There's a Maxim down here to protect. Heavy mortar also available to protect. Panther has located this T-34, I think, and moves up to engage. It is now Vet 1 giving it blitz. Pio's moving to spot. He should probably take better advantage of the Pyo's really long vision range, though. He's getting unnecessarily close. You can see all the way back here. He could have been a little bit more passive there. Either way, does scare off those T-34s. This one looks like it's about to get its engine repaired. I guess Frost couldn't quite spot it or get in safely. He hasn't even taken any damage. Loses out on that huge opportunity of that destroyed engine T-34 right there. That is a shame. Probably could have killed that. All tanks are about to be fully repaired, spending a lot of munitions to do that, but he has the map control to support it. Frost has gotten the map back under control here. Although he doesn't control his cutoff, he does manage to get the center victory point for a little while, and he's actually managed to produce another Panther. That Panther needs to pull back, taking heavy damage from field gun fire and a stolen anti-tank gun. This one's going to have to pull back as well. Like I said, Panthers can engage T-34s pretty efficiently if they get some lucky bounces, but he didn't get any bounces there. But I think he can win this game just because of how efficient Panthers are for pop cap. Look at how he's at 70 pop cap, his opponent is at 98. If he manages to get a third Panther out, he'll actually have the advantage over his opponent for tanks. And this game doesn't look like it's going to be ending anytime soon, so that could definitely happen. This is where Oster actually starts to have the advantage over Commando West 40 minutes into the game and longer, because their fuel income just keeps going at the standard rate, and Panther production can be sustained without having to spend any more on tech. Conscripts taking control of the north victory point. Grenadiers working on the strategic end victory points here. That Maxim's almost dead to rifle grenades. Hasn't been retreated though. He's just going to stay there trying to defend this point. Grenadiers are actually going to vault the fence to flank it this time, but two T-34s have made their way down to counter, and he will be forced to retreat that immediately. Conscripts working on the victory point. Couple wounded AT weapons here. This is a very fragile defensive line. The mines are all pretty much gone. Frost has collected a lot of munitions, but still hasn't purchased a minesweeper. He really does need a minesweeper. If he loses Panthers to mines the second time this game, it'll really be only his fault.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
He's also running out of time. If he doesn't slow down this victory point clock, he's gonna have more serious concerns than minesweepers. Panthers nicely positioned. This one just hit Vet 2. It's just gonna be even stronger now. Panthers want to get aggressive, but they're driving straight into field guns. They need to make a flank with minesweeper support rather than engaging frontally through the middle. They're getting great hits off regardless of their decision to do so, though. Just fully utilizing their maximum range. Heavy mortars are bombarding this area, though. Bet 2 Panther gets buttoned. This one's fallen to about half and needs to pull back to safety. T-34 moves up on this flank to continue engaging. Pyo's desperately trying to take the point, but they're under heavy fire from guards, heavy mortars, T-34s. That Panther needs to pull back completely or it's going to go down. They are successful in taking the point. Guards moving up to counter now. And it looks like Frost will need to make a full retreat, but he has turned the clock back in his favor. Panzer Grenadiers working the north need to get this fuel under control, but as a result they're losing control of the victory point again, and a triple cap is about to be set up against Frost again, and he needs to do something about it. That Panther also absolutely needs to pull back for repairs or it's going to go down. Molotov being tossed to try and turn this engagement in Conscript's favor. Not sure it's being monitored. Has to toss a bundle grenade. It does get dodged, and the engagement will go to Zielaczek. If he does not retreat, there they go.
Infantry squad has been killed.
Lost Panzer Grenadiers to Conscripts right there. Just because the engagement didn't go optimally. Grenadiers trying to work the center, taking heavy damage. Panzerwerfer on the field to try and do something about those heavy mortars. Probably not a bad decision against clustered team weapons like this. Hopefully it'll pay off. He doesn't have a whole lot of viable indirect fire options besides his mortar. And honestly, that wasn't that great of a barrage. Hopefully he'll be able to make better use of that. A third Panther probably would have made more sense, but only so much he can do. Fortunately, the triple cap will be stopped here in the south at about 40 points, 30 points maybe, once he gets that captured. And he'll have to think carefully about his next push, because if his next push does not succeed, he'll probably lose the game. He needs to take and hold territory. He needs to do something very decisive against this cluster of team weapons, and the best tool at his disposal for that is Stuka Close Air Support. Just collected the 200 munitions. He needs to utilize that.
We have lost a squad.
Full squad just got wiped by a mine. He basically needs to make a huge push using Stuka Close Air Support, kill everything, and not lose victory points for the entire rest of the game. I don't know if that's going to be possible though. His opponent has a lot of time, a huge pool of resources to work with. Winning from this point forward will be an extremely uphill struggle. He does stop the clock, taking control of the center. He's taking heavy damage. There's the Stuka Close Air Support call-in. Depending on how it lands, it may open up a huge hole for the Panthers. Not really.
25 points. Do not let them defeat us.
Brings that T-34 down to about half. The south is being retaken by the Soviets. The center is about to be taken by these Grenadiers. Panzerwerfer is firing somewhere in the back. Panthers move up to engage. Panzerwerfer is not targeted at those AT guns, unfortunately. Main gun destroyed on the T-34. There it goes. Panthers trying to flank around behind these AT guns, but they're exposing their rear armor. That one's out of control already. Vet 2 Panther trying to circle strafe the AT guns. If only the Panzerwerfer barrage had targeted this, or Stuka Close Air Support could maybe make a second pass. Panther is well positioned, however. This just got killed by the top mount machine gun. Stuka Close Air Support takes out another T-34. Mortar might get decrewed as well. I'm not sure if any of these kills matter. T-34 looks like it's going to kill this Panther. Stolen Pack helping as well. I don't know, I'm not sure. Okay, Panther takes it out before being destroyed by the Stolen Pack. GG. GG and BG being exchanged apparently. Because Frost can't maintain victory point control. And that's the game. 45 minutes in. I feel like Frost probably could have won this if he had gone tier 3 instead and capitalized on his very early map advantage. Instead he went straight to tier 4, probably because of his doctrine selection. He probably felt he needed tier 4. But tier 3 with tier 2 support from Teller Mines, plus he had Stuka Close Air Support, probably could have been made to work. He could have applied a lot more pressure to his opponent's heavy mortar selection. And I think he also got a little bit frustrated this game. I think him being frustrated threw him off his game a little bit. I saw him make some like really overly aggressive decisions with his Panther, which I feel like he may have done without thinking clearly. It's very important to remain calm and collected in a game of Company of Heroes. It's very easy to get frustrated and just throw the game away as a result. So, things to consider. Good game. Allies win.